Hello, this is Teresa Phelps Martin joining you live or via the replay or somewhere in the technological cyber world of virtual yoga for Yoga Soul Flow and this space that I like to call Soulfully You, with the intention to help bring forward awareness and connection to your physical, your mental, your emotional, which is your soulful, and your spirit, your heart. And when we allow for this level of connection, we're doing soul work for the body. This morning I was thinking of somebody who has a lunar consciousness in her business. I don't know her personally. I do know that she works with her mom, pretty sure, from what I've gathered in social media. And it's Moon, Body, Soul. And I'm a little jealous of that name because we don't want to just get caught up in soul work. We also want to get caught up in embodiment, to recognize that the wisdom we're seeking sits within every fiber of our being. Good morning, Diane. So, fixated flexibility, oxymoron, right? Woohoo, Perry, you know it'll be here. And happy birthday to your sweet little Karina. It's such a big deal when our littles go through that next level of their own embodiment. We move in this time of year, kind of kicks off what somebody called Martin Palooza. It's our family has a lot happening at this time. So this fixated flexibility, though, the oxymoron of it is that we want to be able to dance with the connection of our lives. We want to be able to belong within our own skin and bones. And we kind of want to stay fixated on our center. We want to kind of get persistent and coming back to that. And our center sits within our being, our physical being. So it's just a dance between what is seen and what is unseen. And being able to remember that 100% of the time is impossible because we're human. But we want to understand that the container in which we experience our life holds great value. And it's how we get to live. Our soul has a lifetime to grow and evolve. So we even want to pause to integrate, which is, I will say, is not my strong suit. I like to go. Next, what's up, what's next? So we're going to work with, there's a little flame for my Leo people, and that ability to come back to the heart. Leo energy is the idea of love of oneself, love of the vitality we're given, love of our own royal nature, and Leo energy is the sun. So we have this ability to be in this fixed fire, persistent, strong. It's in the northern hemisphere, the time of year where we're in the mid part of summer. It's the peak energy that carries the harvest of the crops forward. And it's not until we get into mutable earth with Virgo do we start to harvest from the crops. And then I'll go into that story later. But we're also in fixed earth, which means that there's a steadiness, a consistency of spring. Believe it or not, it's spring, even though we're hitting the 80s very soon here in Louisville, Kentucky. And how do we really allow that abundance to be consistent? So how does that show up in the body? We're going to work with the bottom of the heart energy, so our diaphragm down to our navel, and we're going to work those hip points, so your trochanters. We're gonna feel the connection to the life and energy in the bones, the marrow of our being, and feel not just the connection to the strength and the warmth, the heating nature that in yoga we call tapas or discipline that keeps us consistent, but also how we can dance with that energy. We will continue to have our feet on the ground. We won't be moving into a lot of balance until later this week. So let's do it. We're gonna start standing. In the journey of the lunar wisdom, we want to reflect back kind of the crisis or the conscious experiences of life forcing us to make choices. And we want to choose mindfully. We want to choose with the awareness that we're responding versus reacting. So we're going to start standing. We will be challenged today. So stay fixed on your ability to adapt. Cool? And love. Don't forget love. So standing on your 2 feet. As you're standing on those 2 feet, put your space into working order. We also want to keep in mind the not so much linear journey, but cyclical that we want to be persistent in. As you find your 2 feet, feel the ground upon which you're standing. Bring your hands to rest at your heart center and the gesture that resonates for you. And as you feel that gesture that resonates with you, breathe deeply, reconnecting to your inner world, calling upon your highest, appreciating the body in which you are journeying through this life. Feel the intersection of this energy within your own heart. And watching the rise and the fall of the breath. The breath in of itself is not linear. The breath is persistent. And it fluctuates with us. And the more we can connect with our breath, the more aware we can be of how we feel. And in that fixated flexibility and that ability to stay persistent in our boundaries, our container, connected to our center, what matters to us. We can also put that energy of love at the heart of it. So as we're faced with bigger choices, we can choose consciously. We can choose love. As you exhale, you're going to bend your knees, thighs pull back, draw into the belly, hinge in the hips, folding all the way to the earth. Relax the head, touch the ground, open the eyes. So the fire is our vision. Hands to your shins. Inhale, find length, and exhale, bow. Push the feet to the ground. Feel the muscular engagement. Roll the spine out. Inhale the arms wide, just on the horizon. Kick the hands to the earth. Draw the shoulders in. Keep the ribs hugging down and in. So connect to these hip points and rib cage. Big full breath in. Full breath out. Bring your hands forward to the midline, plug in, left elbow under the right. Just a little shoulder stretch. And then exhale, bend the knees, hinge the hips, fold all the way forward, unravel, bow, inhale, find length. Exhale, fold. Feet are strong, on the horizon, arms go wide, shoulders are drawing in. Again, feeling the connection through this torso, ribs, hips. Hands come to the center. Plug the arms in, right elbow into the left. Feeling the breath. Into the hips, micro bend the knees as you bow forward. Free the arms all the way to the earth. Inhale, find length. Exhale, bow. Bend the knees, chin to your chest. Roll the spine out, vertebrae by vertebrae. This time, hands sweep back. Interlace the fingers. Shoulders drawn to the back. Big, full breath in. Bend the knees, thighs pull back. Glide the left foot back. So you're just gliding into a warrior one. Reconnect. Shoulders are drawing in. And then connect to the ribs. As soon as the shoulders draw in, we usually expand the belly. So I want you to draw the shoulders in, draw into the core. Full deep breath in. Full deep breath out. Step the foot forward into Utkatasana. Sit deep. Shoulders to your back. Big full breath in. And then exhale, bow. Notice which index finger, right, is on top. Fold all the way forward, arms free to the earth. Inhale, find length. Exhale, bow. So we're staying fixated on flying, finding that flexibility. Roll the spine up, vertebrae by vertebrae. Clasp the hands, switch the interlace. Right, so we have to stay focused, pay attention to those subtleties. Shoulders are to the back. Pull the waistline in. Have the legs towards the midline, arm bones towards the midline, and then glide the right foot back. Readjust. The hips probably want to open up, so readjust. Feeling the connection to your own strength, your own tenacity. Opening the heart. But notice how you can't get the heart radically open because we're working the core. We're staying muscular in the engagement. We're honoring the physical. Step the foot forward, knees bend. Sit into fierce Utkatasana. Exhale, fold. Arms go overhead into the forward bend. And then release the hands. Inhale, find length through the spine. Exhale, bow. Chin to the chest, knees bend, core line. Articulate vertebrae by vertebrae. Really clear through that midline. Inhale, standing in Tadasana, rather Samasthihi. Hands to heart center, shoulders are to the back. Feel the equanimity of just the beginning. So that right there is more than enough, just FYI. That little flow. Breathe all the way in and all the way out. You're going to inhale the arms straight from the heart up to the heavens above. And then exhale, arms go wide. Hinge the hips. Stay connected to that back body all the way to the ground. Inhale, find length. Bend the knees. Step back with the left foot. Low lunge, strong to that center. Twist, big inhale in. And then exhale my hands to the earth. Downward dog. Ground through the hands. Strong through the legs, connected to the core. Inhale, plank. Knees high or low. Chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. Opening the heart. And then all the way back. Downward dog. Now, as you move through that salutation, right? Plank, chaturanga, up dog, down dog. Pause to breathe. I really want you to feel that persistence of embodying the pose, that you're not getting caught up in the momentum. I promise you, after this slow journey with fixed earth, mutable air, it's coming. Walk all the way forward to the front edge of the mat. Exhale, bow to the ground. Inhale, long spine, so the arms go wide. Rise all the way up. Sweep the arms up overhead. Big breath in. And exhale. Arms go wide. Hinge at the hips. Bow to the earth. Inhale, find length. And then exhale. Right foot goes back. Find your lunge. Hug in. And then twist. Full breath in. Exhale the hand to the earth. Downward dog. Inhale, plank. So Chaturanga, knees high or low. Feel the breath into that pose. I really should be taking my knees down. Opening the heart. And exhaling back. Downward dog. Breathe right into the base of your heart. Feel that split that goes down all the way through your hips into your feet. And that split that goes up through the spine, through the arms, into the hands. All the way into the earth. And then draw all the way back into the heart and just feel that connection to belonging within. Walk your feet forward. Belonging in your being. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, find length. Exhale, fold. Snuck an extra one in. Inhale, long spine. Arms go wide. Sweep them up overhead. Full breath in. Exhale, arms go wide. Hinge at the hips, all the way to the earth. Inhale, find length. You're going to step back into plank pose. Clearly you could glide back. Not something that is optimal for my body and my being. In plank, I'm listening to my body. I have dug way too much. So knees are to the ground. Draw into the belly. There's still a connection to Chaturanga. There's still the pause. There's still the heat. And then sweep the heart through. I'm staying with Cobra. You can go back to Upward Dog. Full breath in. Now we're going to reverse that. Okay, we're going to come out of it the same way we went in. Shoulders come back. Draw into the belly. Chaturanga. And then inhale up into your plank. Full connection to the breath. Exhale back. Downward dog. 5 breaths here, honoring the tradition of your own practice, the journey you've been on, and finding the ways to get on your mat. The distractions that surface, that pull you away from caring for yourself, from loving on yourself, for finding your value, for embracing, embodying your unique nature. Walk the feet forward. Both feet grounded. Exhale, bow. Inhale, find length. So feel the outer hips wrapping in. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, arms go wide. All the way up to standing. Deep breath in. Exhale, knees bend. Left elbow, right knee. Lift into the belly, shoulders to the back. You can stay here, or you can glide back into that twisted high lunge. Twist from your core, not your head. Big inhale. Stay connected to your breath. And then we'll step it forward, finding both feet underneath you. You'll have another chance for the high lunge if it didn't work out for you. Inhale, come back through the center. Push into the ground, rise all the way up. Arms sweep high, hinge the hips back. Inhale, find length. We're going straight into plank pose again. Honoring that solar energy, that solar consciousness that keeps us usually pretty linear. Knees high or low, Chaturanga, pause, connect into the form, And then open in the heart, cobra or upward dog. And then you're going to sweep the belly back into Chaturanga. And then pushing up into plank. 5 breaths. Downward dog. Right? Fixated on that flexibility, heels lift, walk forward. Slow and steady wins the race. Exhale, bow. Building that fire. Inhale, find length. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise all the way up, standing, arms overhead. Exhale, sit into the seat of yourself. Love on yourself, embrace yourself. Right elbow, left knee. Even out the pelvis, connect to the core, shoulders to the back. Check in. And then if you can, just glide the foot back. You might fall over, it's okay. Hug into that center. Honor your center. Connect to those rib cage. Are they flaring apart? How can you hold the container of your heart with love? Step it forward. Realigning the hips, the pelvis, the spine. Inhale, come back through to the center. Rise all the way up. Big, full breath in. Arms go wide into the hips. All the way to the earth. Inhale, find length. Straight into plank pose. So ground through the hands. If gliding into plank doesn't jar you or disrupt the inner connection, great. We can feed our ego and nourish it, but we want to watch when it's leading the way. Chaturanga. So shoulders are drawing back. Collarbones are broadening. Ribs are drawing in. And then opening in to your heart opener. And then from here, back into Chaturanga. Pushing up and into your plank. Exhaling back, downward dog. Bring the knees to the earth. Toes stay tucked. Sit back on your heels. Let the hands come up. Draw in. So feel the lift. Your arms are going to go out from the heart. You're going to inhale, arms overhead. Place the hands. They can come behind the head. They can come in front of the heart. They can come to your low back. Cradle the connection to your heart by really clear into this part that usually is asleep. Inhale, open the heart up. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Inhale, you're going to come all the way up. Hands to the earth. You are in a standing forward bend at the back edge of the mat. Inhale, find length. Climb forward, plank. All the way to the earth this time. So you can pause in Chaturanga. And then all the way to the earth. Reaching the feet back. Hands go back. Let the fingers, you can circle the wrists if you need to. If you feel inflammation in the fingers or the wrists, I recommend letting the fingers be soft. shoulders to your back. Inhale, Shalabhasana. Feel the inner thighs, waistline, shoulders are to the back. Rising. From here, hands come under the shoulders. I'm going to push my knees to the ground, tucked toes. You might want to do knees up. Push up into Chaturanga, and then inhale, open into Cobra or Upward Dog. Lifting up through the core, and back to your dog pose. Now, hopefully, you are connected to your own practice, that my words can guide you enough. But if you're paying attention to me at all, you'll see I keep shifting my feet. Knees come to the earth, toes are tucked, sit back. And so playing with that foundation, so there can be a movement, right? This is the fixated flexibility. So there can be a movement around the energy of my heart. I also have a lot of vulnerability from completely digging out a flower bed for my in-laws, and then actually going from their house to my parents' house and planting stuff for them. So I have major vulnerability in my low back. I'm letting myself not be fixated on the vulnerability, but rather fixated on the flexibility I hold and contain. Come standing on your knees. And so that's requiring my feet as I open my heart to adjust, so that my heart's expansion can be one of love and connection to translating the light and reflecting it, versus being stuck and persistent in doing it the way everybody else does. So we want to honor our authenticity. Hands can come to the heart, they can come to the back, they can come behind the head. Feel that lift, that opening. We're not going all the way into camel pose. Ribs are hugging in, core is engaged. Find that lift, open the heart. Feel the length through the neck and the throat, so that you can continue to sing your favorite song. Your words matter. And then inhale, lift up from behind the heart. Hands to the ground, standing forward bend at the back edge of the mat. Inhale, climb forward into plank pose. We're going all the way to the ground this time. Hug into that center, that connection, knees high or low. Breathe into Chaturanga, then all the way to the earth. Feet point back, hands sweep back. Inhale, Shalabhasana. Hands come under, toes come under, knees high or low. Pull up into Chaturanga, and then into your heart opener. And all the way back, downward dog. Inhale, the right leg lifts. 3 circles here. Right knee to the heart, out to the side, and up around. Once you get to the third, up and around, you're going to open up, look under your left arm, and see if you can see your right toes without dropping in that left side body. Inhale, square it off, look forward, step the foot through, pivot the back heel to the earth, and inhale into Trikonasana. Feet are grounded, throat's open, connect to that spine, all the way through the throat, breathing and being. Exhale, bend the knee, hand to the earth. You're going to lift up, leg lifts, bend the knee, open the hip up. If you stretch through your left heel, great. Just keep your outer left hip sweeping towards your tailbone. Inhale.
Step the foot through to a lunge. Shorten the stance, ground both feet. Intense leg stretch. Level out the pelvis. Feeling the breath. How did you know? Cross. Either keep the left hand under the shoulder or cross the left hand over and then revolve triangle pose. Enjoying the breath in and the breath out. Just feels right today. Stay with your breath. How can you feel the sustenance of the pose, of your practice? And then exhale, hand to the ground. You're gonna lunge forward. Left leg's gonna lift. Draw into the center, find length. Big full breath in and a full breath out. You're gonna curtsy. Bring that left knee behind the right. Now here's a little trick, okay? Left knee's behind the right. You're gonna lean back to your left foot and pick your right foot up. So now, does that make sense? All of our weight was on our front foot. You brought the back foot down, picked up the front foot. Bending both knees, draw into the belly. Sit deep into that left leg, hug the outer hips, draw into the core, right elbow comes underneath. Fine, eagle pose. You can always use your right foot to help you. Rising up out of the ashes with love. Exhale, you're gonna fold all the way back down, hands touch the earth. Right foot comes forward, left leg lifts back up, and then step the left foot all the way back. So you come into that lunge, back knee to the ground, get settled to the earth, strong through the legs. Inhale, find the length, so the pelvis is level. Find the length, open up, hands can come back behind the heart. Behind the head, in front of the heart, or to your hips. Feel the lift, opening it up. Full breath in, full breath out. And then inhale, come upright. Hands come to the earth, back knee is gonna lift. Ground in and move it back, downward dog. Honor yourself. Inhale, plank. Chaturanga all the way to the ground. Feet go back, hands go back. Inhale, Shalabhasana, right? So as we repeat things, we're inhaling straight into Cobra, no Chaturanga this time, or Upward Dog. You can go into Cobra or Up Dog. Drawing into the belly, allowing ourselves to respond to what's coming forward. Finding the alignment, your hands, your feet. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, knee comes in, circles around. Three circles. And then opening the hip. So we're inspired by the fixed elements of earth and earth and fire today. But all the elements are always there. Step the foot through. Pivot the back heel to the ground. So get solid in the connection. Thighs move back, outer hips hug in. Core is engaged, right? So maybe you just feel your hamstring, but your core is still part of it. This left shoulder is still part of it. Opening into Trikonasana. Reminding yourself what you love about yoga, the practice, our ability to dance with the dynamic nature of life, and staying fixated on returning to our center or finding it. Like my daughter said today, "Mom, what would you do without us?" I said, "I don't know." I said, "What would you do without me?" And she said, "I'd come find you." Big inhale in, exhale the hand to the earth. Spin the back heel up. Shorten the stance. Oh, never mind. Spin the back heel up, hands ground down, leg lifts up, open the hip. Peek under that right shoulder without dropping and collapsing. So you're lifting the arm bone up, you're plugging the arm bone in, the outer right hip's hugging towards the tail. Step the foot all the way through to a lunge. Ground into the foot, then shift the back foot. Even the feet out. Find the energy of the legs, of the hips. The intensity of the stretch is for real. What would we do if we couldn't feel big stretches in yoga? Would we keep coming back? Probably not. You feel the container. And then we're going to move our right arm across. Okay, it can also stay under your right shoulder. For me, for now, it needs to come across. You're going to push the arm into the shin, shin into the arm, outer hip, lengthen the spine, stay lifted in the core, right? You're twisting from the core, not the head, not the brain, not the ego, from your essence, from your depth. Breathing into the guidance that comes through in your body. It knows where to go. And then exhale the hand to the earth. Bend the knee, shift the weight forward. Inhale the back leg parallel. Whee! You're going to bend the knee, so curtsy, okay? Draw into the belly, but in that curtsy, you're just squeezing the inner thighs. Come from the ball of the right foot, pick the left foot up, and then anchor into the heel of the right foot. I know, a little crazy transition. Draw into the belly. And then from this transition, check in with your balance, draw into the core. Left elbow comes under the right. I knew I was going to fall. Laugh. So what Leo energy reminds us too is the slow fierceness of the fixed earth. You get really serious. And it's reminding us to let go of the attachment. Smile, laugh, be playful. Try again. We have vitality. We're resilient. Eagle pose. And then exhale all the way back down to the earth. You're going to step the left foot forward, right leg unravels, comes out behind you. And then downward dog, both hands to the ground. Step it all the way back. Inhale, plank. All the way to the earth. All the way into the ground. Feet point back, hands go back. Inhale, Shalabhasana. This time we're going straight to the earth. Exhale, pillow the hands or not. Head comes to the ground. Allow the density of your bones to get heavy, to rest in the earth. Yeah, it's on the kitchen counter. You're going to bend both knees and roll your feet over to the left. Inhale your feet through the center and then roll them over to the right. Inhale, come back through the center. Stretch the legs out long. We're going to roll over onto our back. Once you roll over onto your back, bring the knees into your chest and give yourself a little hug. Arms stretch out from the shoulders like a capital T. Core is rolling in, knees go up and over to the left. Both shoulders to the ground, look to the right. And after your exhale, stay contained in the core. Inhale your knees through the center. And then move them all the way over to the right. Both shoulders on the ground. Breathing into the back body. Easing up through the throat. Let the head get heavier. Gravity is your friend. You can't see it, but it dominates your life. Big breath in. Big breath out. Come all the way back through the center. Once you come back to the center, feet to the ground. As I've listened to my body today, I know that wheel pose is not going to be life-serving. Okay, it's not going to support my ability to respond consciously. History will prove itself that even with all injuries and distractions of life, I continue to return to my mat. So I can let go of the idea of how much I want to do wheel pose, and I can trust that it's in my future. And so from that knowing, that trust, that steadiness, that discipline, I can move more clearly through bridge pose. See, I really want to do it, but there's no way I can. So as you come here, sorry I had to let the yawn out. I'm going to go into bridge pose. You can go into wheel pose. It's up to you. Throat's open if you're in bridge. Shoulders are drawing in. Connection to the core. If you go into wheel pose, just stay aware of the energy within the heart. Value your own health and vitality. Breathing into the pose, letting the wisdom of the body guide you in the alignment. If you went to wheel pose, join everybody else in bridge pose. Have you guys noticed we've stayed in the poses just long enough to feel the fire, to feel the energy of discipline. It's not really a crisis. This is nothing. If only life was more like yoga. But to a point of where we can choose consciously, that we can stay fixated in our ability to be flexible. We know this isn't going to last. Big inhale, feel a lift from behind the heart. And then exhale, lead with your inner thighs. Bring your hips to the ground. Now what I want you to do is let the tail land. There's an arch in the back. Let the tail, not only does the skin and the flesh land, you got to get all the way to the bone. Release the shoulders slightly, but stay with this arched back. So you feel still, you're in the back bend, you're still in the heart opener. Breathe all the way in. Now as you exhale, just let gravity, the earth, the ground, receive you. See if you can move the shoulders more so than the hips. Once you get to the earth, get all the way to the earth. Breathe into the back of the heart. Adjust your feet, head and shoulders stay heavy. Right knee comes up, right foot goes to the sky. Plug the thigh bone in so you can hold on to the leg, plug it in. If your hands come around the back, then you want to not just pull the leg in, but feel a little resistance. Keep drawing in, so feel how much this left hip point slides away. Draw in, extend the left leg long. Now, if the left leg's long, you feel your hips grounded, and you can bring the right leg in a little closer, then great. If you lose the connection to your inner self, then back it up. I can bring mine in, but my hips go completely out of alignment, which means what it's doing is it's destabilizing my back. So I can get fixated on trying to go to where I think I'm flexible, or I can know that I'm fixated on that flexibility that it can really cause more harm than good. That's for me personally. And then exhale, bend the right knee, draw the left knee in to join it, really steady here. Right foot comes to the ground, left foot climbs up. Right, again, it's not about pulling in super close, big stretch. It's about stabilizing so that we can have a practice that holds sustenance. So leg plugs in. Right, the thigh bone's pulling straight into the earth in the hip socket. Right leg extends. You're going to have to pull that right inner thigh up and in as your outer left hip anchors down. Such a potent and powerful pose. It's a slight inversion. And then after being there, if you have permission to go deeper, I'm not going to, even though I did it on the other side. Such a rebel, right? And then as you exhale, knee bends, draw the right in, hold on to your legs, rock from side to side. Feel just a little release, and then it's your choice. I do have a block, don't I? You can go plow pose, or shoulder stand. Or you can go to the wall, do legs up the wall. I'm just going to do bridge on a block. I'm not even going to take my feet up. Just bridge on a block, okay? I want you to be in the place that you can be with the greatest sense of harmony, that you can feel that the challenge motivated you. That you found that ability to get more connected to how you can adapt. If you're in plow pose, keep the shoulders drawing into the back, a lift in the heart. That love is healing. Three more breaths here. As you exhale, exhale out completely. If you're in plow pose, you're going to lower down vertebrae by vertebrae. Head stays on the ground. If your legs are up the wall, if you went legs up the wall, stay with legs up the wall. Don't need to go anywhere. If you found a block and you came to a supported expression, bring both feet back to the earth. Ground into the earth. Move the block out of your way. And then vertebrae by vertebrae, heels lift up, curl the tail, articulate the spine all the way down to the earth. Really using your core. Once you come all the way to the earth, let the legs stretch out long. Adjust the arms. Your clothes. Feel the fixedness of the earth that is always rotating on its axis. Dancing with the moon around the sun. And here you are pausing from a sacred understanding that you belong here. Breathing into that connection with yourself. Enjoy a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And through the breath, feel the reawakening of that sacred spark, that great embodiment of love in the fiber of every cell of your being. Just because you are, just as you are. Wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. Sway the head from side to side. Inhale the arms back behind you, any sigh or sound or big yawn. Bend both knees, feel both feet on the ground. Draw the knees into your chest. Give yourself one more hug. Roll over to one side and then slowly come up into the comfort of your seat. Hopefully a little more gracefully than I. Once seated, sit well, hands to your own heart. Enjoying the depth of your own breath. And just the deeper connection, fixated on your flexibility, your ability to adapt and grow. But also know when you need to integrate, when you need to slow down, when you need to pause and breathe in and breathe out and belong. And know that you belong nowhere else other than in your own skin and bones. And to that light that is calling each of us forward, namaste. I thank you deeply. I appreciate you. And I thank you for the extra devotion to your body, your presence, your ability to show up. Whether it's here virtually, whether it's re-entering studios, whether it's doing both, whether it's really feeling how you long for the connection of community, but there's a not ready yet, right? That's me personally. And in that longing, we can know that we are continuing to navigate. And so I'll continue to navigate with you. And in that energy, you can feel the energy of you, and you can feel supported. You can feel supported. I did write a blog post. It is on my website, teresaphelpsmartin.com, and it's about discovering the profound guidance that is available to each of you and all of you. Also, I wrote out lunar horoscopes for this cosmic journey that we're in. They were written for your sun, your moon, or your rising sign. They're there for your soul. They're not just there for entertainment purposes. If you don't know your sun, you probably know your sun sign, but can I just tell you that your sun sign is, I'm barely my Gemini, okay? So, barely. It's so funny. It's so, I joke around that God decided I needed to come out as a Gemini to stay curious and to keep talking, and to talk about the sacred depth, but I am so much more than that. So if I didn't even know my moon, which is Cancer, my rising, which is Libra, when you know these parts, Diane, if you're still with me, you're a Libra rising and a Cancer moon. Remember, our only difference is that you're that Leo sun. And when we know these things, we can read each part and not so much attach ourselves to the words, but to allow the words to invoke a greater contemplation, because only you know how to be you. So that's why I'm offering straight from my heart to yours, and I will be with you here